Good morning, everyone. I'm Jorge Perez, Executive Director of HACIA, the Hispanic American Construction Industry Association, broadcasting you live from 650 West Lake Street in beautiful Chicago, Illinois. Welcome to our October membership webinar. Like everybody else, we shifted over to this platform in order to still bring you projects and updates of what's happening and how it can improve your ability to compete in the marketplace. And as you know, because of the pandemic, we have not been able to host any event over at the East Bank Club. So we've been able to use this platform, which is in our training space here on the second floor of our 650 West Lake Street building. So just so you know, from a logistics standpoint, we have Cristina Aguirre, who's our producer. She's manning the board. And then we have Juan Calajorano, our operations director here as well in the studio. I want to welcome our guests who will be presenting in just a few minutes. I do want to just go through and recognize some sponsors who help make this event possible. But I would be remiss if I did not mention that on behalf of our board of directors, I want to thank you for those who are HACIA members. Thank you for your sponsorship. Thank you for your membership. We really appreciate you being a member. I know you have choices to make with other associations. We try to ensure that you have value here at HACIA, and we keep you engaged with what's going on. We do know that many of you, again, have a decision, and as we come up to our membership renewal phase, we want to ensure that we are here to help as much as we can, and you're always welcome to give us a call. So with that, Chris, I think we're going to go ahead and just recognize our sponsors for today. Oh, but before I go there, one thing that we're trying to do in order to encourage more engagement is if you use your cell phone and go to the camera mode, and if you just put your iPhone or your mobile device up to this code, it will take you to a conference IO, which will allow you to answer some questions as we go through the event and ask questions in order to get you a little bit more engaged with this morning's presentations. So if you get a chance, go there, or if you don't have your phone, you can go to that website that's there next to the QR code. Again, I think many of you have gone to a restaurant in the last 90 days, and this is very similar to what they do for the menus. So just grab your phone, put it up to it, and then you'll get more engaged with today's meeting. So feel free to ask questions there, and then you can upvote questions as well. And we'll see how that goes. So again, thank you to our sponsors. We want to recognize Wintrust Bank. Thank you very much for being a sponsor for this year. Also, the great folks at People's Gas, natural gas delivery. Bear Paints, thank you very much. Also, the good folks over at Hilco Redevelopment Partners, as they go to redevelop the former Crawford power plant into a 1 million square foot state-of-the-art distribution center. Also want to thank ComEd. Thank you very much. Also, thank you to our sponsors, our silver sponsors for today, Metro Strategies. Thank you very much. Also, as a silver sponsor, Patrick Engineering. And also as a bronze sponsor, Trino Incorporated. Thank you very much, Alicia. And also as a bronze sponsor, E.H. Hudson Consulting. In addition to them, as another bronze sponsor, Lakeshore Engineering, LLC. We do want to recognize members who have been members with us 5, 10, 15, 20 years. This has been a staple at our membership meetings, and I want to recognize at this point Terra Engineering for being a 5-year member. Thank you very much, Terra. And we also want to welcome some new members. We have a corporate member, a regular member, and an associate member. As a new corporate member, we have Mead and Hunt. As a new regular member, we have Montoya Electric, LLC. As a new associate member, we have Smith Painting Services, Inc. Do want to tell folks that we did have a shift in our event planning for our scholarship fund. As you know, we raise dollars every year for our scholarship foundation. We've been doing a developers cruise of the Chicago River, and then we do a holiday party in December. But because of the pandemic, we will not be able to do both of them. So what we did do is have another round of golf. So please watch this quick little video, less than 2 minutes. Everyone for coming out, supporting HACIA Scholarship and Education Foundation. Support is truly appreciated. Hope you had a great day. Look forward to doing this event once again next year. Have a great day, everyone. All right. Just really quickly, we want to just mention to you that we're currently enrolling applicants into our pre-apprenticeship program for laborers. This is a new initiative for ours, from us, for job seekers that want to enter the construction industry. We do have four other cohorts ongoing now, 3 for electrical and 1 in carpentry. We want to do our part to listen to the needs of our members and the industry by supplying qualified individuals that you can recruit from for your day-to-day operations in construction. So we definitely want to let you know that we're recruiting now. These classes for the laborers are being sponsored by Hilco Redevelopment Partners. We still have some spots available there. We're targeting specifically residents in the Little Village community. So please help spread the word. Also want to let you know that we're still through HACIA U on our business capacity, building capacity offerings and our tracks there. We are recruiting for the next cohort of business owners for our intro into business management for construction. And that one is funded by the Future Energy Jobs Act and ComEd. To date, we've put 67 firms through that over the last few years. And so we're enrolling now for another cohort to start later this fall and the early winter of 2020. Also want to let you know that you see up here is our professional services committee is putting together their annual transportation networking event and presentations. And so we've been doing that for the last few years with representatives from IDOT, CDOT, the Illinois Tollway, and Cook County Highway Transportation System. So please make plans to look out for that information. That's November 18th, next month. I do also want to recognize some individuals that are on the call today. We have partnerships through HACIA U. Our longstanding partnership has been with St. Augustine College and their Institute for Workforce Excellence. We've put close to 500 firms through that business capacity training program over the last 10 years. We're very excited and basically wanted to give them props as well. But a new partnership that we created earlier this year was out in the western suburbs with the College of DuPage and Innovation DuPage. And we want to recognize all the inaugural participants of the Owner to CEO and the Construction Business Accelerator cohort that we held this year. And I want to recognize those individuals. This was a program that we launched on June 20th with 8 companies. And all the classes were held remotely on Zoom. And it's a 12-week program that ended in September. And there were final presentations that were provided by those participants. And those classes were led by some of the industry experts and some of the big names in construction, such as Power Construction, Mortensen Construction, Wintrust Bank. And they covered topics such as project management, finance, sales development, marketing, construction, contract bid, insurance and bonding, legal issues, and HR. So we hope to offer, again, this program in partnership with the College of DuPage over the next year as well. So I do want to recognize and welcome those individuals for the first time watching a HACIA membership webinar, and congratulations. All right, so now we're going to go to our membership meeting presenters. And I think first up, we have the CREATE team. I think we had Jennifer Killen, who's going to start us off. So at this point, Jennifer, I'm going to pass over the mic to you, and the floor is yours, and so you can begin.
Jorge, thank you. We really appreciate the invitation for you to welcome us back to today's meeting and have the opportunity to speak to your members a little bit more about the CREATE program and the great opportunities that it presents. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, hoping everybody can see. All right. Well, as many of you know, oops, let's see, not letting me advance. There we go. You know, the CREATE program, we're here today to help you learn about the program business and contracting opportunities, and we want to focus on the funded portions of the 75th Street Corridor Improvement Project. And we're just going to walk you through, the program overview. Again, I don't think this is something that's unfamiliar to many of you. We've really been trying to get out and make sure that each one of you know what contracting opportunities are coming down the pipeline in the near term and the long term, so that you can build that capacity with your workforce. We want to talk about the status of the infra grant funded projects, where we're at on those, then also offer you an opportunity to ask us some questions about other projects that are underway and how you can get involved. We talk about what is CREATE. It's a $4.6 billion public-private partnership designed to improve the transportation flow through the Chicago. It's a very unique collaborative that was founded in the early 2000s that consists of, USDOT, IDOT, CDOT, American Association of Railroads, Metra, Amtrak, and the short lines in conjunction with USDOT. When we think about the program as a whole, it's 70 projects. We have a number of road rail grade separations, rail grade separations, a viaduct improvement program that's part of this. It's about $30 million of improvements that really help our communities thrive. We have grade crossing safety enhancements, and we really want to focus on ways that we can improve freight mobility through our region. When we think about the project status, we've made pretty good strides. We've been around since 2003, but nearly half of our projects have advanced and they are now complete. We've got about 30% that are in final design or the preliminary engineering. We've got 4 construction projects underway, and we're going to spend a little bit of time today talking about those project opportunities. And then we've got 25% of the projects that still need to get out the door. And this is really where the strength of the collaboration comes in, as we are seeking out all state, local, and federal grant opportunities to move these projects forward and give you the opportunities that you seek. We're going to focus on 4 corridors. We should have some animation here. We'll see if it comes up. Yes, we do. Okay, great. The passenger corridor, the east-west corridor, the Beltway corridor, and then the Western Avenue corridor. Where you see green ovals on the map, those are where we have the highway rail grade crossing separations. The orange circles that you see, that is where we have the freight rail improvements. And then you'll see black triangles. They get a little bit hard to see, but towards the middle of the screen, that's where we have our freight and passenger rail flyovers. We think about how critical freight is to our region, and what is really unique to this region is that we have passenger rail operating on the freight rail system as well. We're looking at new business and contracting opportunities for all of you. We have professional services that are out there for right-of-way design, geotech, survey, construction management services. That could be material testing and survey. And we're really focusing hard on what are the opportunities for construction. We're looking at bid construction packages. We are looking at what opportunities are there for force account, specialized equipment and rentals, and where we have relocation and utility work. And I just want to spend a minute to say, how much time we've been really focusing on getting the right sized work packages out there. We've heard from industry, long before we had the capital bill, is that, you're fully dependent on us and how we are breaking apart our packages and sizing them to make sure that we're affording each of you an opportunity to participate in the CREATE program. So we're looking at smaller size contracts, specialty contracts, to really ensure that we are including DBE firms and small businesses in this. I stress that it is DBE because the majority of these contracts are funded using federal dollars. So we always put that reminder and plug out that if you are an M or WBE firm, please explore if certification as a DBE is for you, because that is where the majority of the opportunities out of the CREATE program are going to come. We have extensive outreach with the DBE community, and we're working through Cook County, we're working through IDOT, and City of Chicago, really to target those DBE vendors, and again, those M&Ws who might need to explore that certification. We also send out bid advertisements through the CREATE procurement listserv, as well as those individual agencies. So there really shouldn't be any reason why you're not receiving the information. Please make sure you're staying connected. We're having a number of pre-bid networking events that come with each of the opportunities that you see on this screen. We have them scheduled for each solicitation or bid, and it's usually on the same day and the same location for the mandatory pre-bid location. Like everything, we've adjusted to ensure that we can still provide those networking opportunities so that you can find that perfect team to bid on our projects. One word of note is that we do actually have the public involvement for this project already contracted, so that is one opportunity that is not available at this time. You now see a list of supplier or service needs. Of course, this is just options that we have, not limited to. But again, as you scan these lists, I'm sure that you can see something up there that is good for your firm or your company. For the advertisements, we encourage everyone to sign up at createprogram.org. This is where you're going to receive those listserv announcements for each and every CREATE opportunity is out there, as well as notifications when there has been a selection on the opportunity that you were going after as well. Back in 2019, we actually had a series of Get On Board events. This was where we had the in-person networking. Again, recognizing the challenge that this type of virtual engagement has. We know that business still needs to continue. We are going to be looking forward to having Get On Board activities to provide those networking opportunities and additional information and insight about what projects are coming down the pipeline in 2021. So please stay aware of that. Just want to stop and take a minute now to talk about the infra grant funded projects. And this, as many of you know, this is where we received $132 million from US DOT for an infra grant that advances a nearly $500 million project. So this actually funded the design for all of 75th Street SIP, which we're going to get into, and it also funded the construction for the Argos Connection project out in Summit. That project is currently underway, and we don't have any additional opportunities for that particular project. So we'll speak specifically today about what is underway and what remains for, for 75th Street. Little animation here. So we've got the 75th Street corridor projects. These are 4 environmentally linked projects. So the infra grant funded design of each one of these, and it funds the construction of those on the western half. It's going to be a passenger and freight rail flyover and a grade separation. And then we had the Argos Connection project that we already talked about. So the funding for the infra grant, along with contributions from the public and private sector, has allowed for the final design work to begin on this project. You can see the spaghetti bowl that this massive project is going to untangle, where we have lines crossing over. We have 5 rail lines going down to 2, and we really have a major switching challenge at this particular locations that extends throughout our region and beyond our state. This project is going to address the issues that cause delays and idling at Forest Hill, 71st Street grade crossing, the Belt Junction, and the 80th Street junctions as well. I have the animation to show where those are at. So if you see the projects that are on the left side of your screen, those are the ones that are funded for both design and construction, and those on the right side of your screen are at this point funded for design only. You see that status shown here. We just want to also convey where we have the designers already selected. So we have designers selected for each of those design opportunities, but the contractor is still to be determined as these bid packages come out. So we want you to focus your attention there. And while I said that we do not have the construction funding for the eastern half of the project, this is something that the Create partners are actively pursuing. This is a $1 billion with a B dollar project. We've secured funding for that first half of construction, and that we know with the designers who have been placed under contract, you're not going to do us wrong. You're going to ensure that we continue and advance that design to a point where we can competitively apply for that construction funding. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to Sam Tuck. He's going to talk a little bit through the timeline, where we're at, and the different timings for those opportunities that I spoke of. Sam.
Thank you, Sis. So Sis has basically explained quite a bit. Everybody, as she said before, and is pretty much familiar with the 75th Street SIP program. If you're not, at the end of this presentation, because we're going to try to run this along quickly, what we're going to end up doing is give you the opportunity to go to our website. I want you to do that. I'm going to say this several times. Please go to the website, and we'll be showing it in the end and hold it up for a second. If one thing from this presentation today is go to the website. So here we have just a real quick, we're going to give you some renderings. This is some of our existing conditions. This is what we're faced with. You have a rail-to-rail crossing, basically. What we're going to do is try to see, as you can see, to the far right, the concept rendering. What we're going to do is elevate that. So here's the opportunities right there to basically build some of these things. We also have a grade separation project where we show the existing conditions and we're showing the renderings of what we're doing. These are opportunities to go ahead and start to work in for construction. We're going to be doing that. We're only doing the temporary part right now, but we'll be doing the construction. So please get that squared away. Next slide, please. So here's the status of these projects that Sis just talked about for P3 at Forest Hill Junction and the grade separation at GS19. Here's the phase 3, stage 1 temporary construction. We've already got that going, but we're going to have to do stage 2. The temporary construction is going to be in fall 2022. So we already see, as you can see, we're not playing around with the DBE goals. We're trying to push that up and get everybody involved. We've done all the solicitations of bids and it's awarded, but this is for the temporary construction. We'll be going to the stage 2, which we'll be showing you. Next slide, please. So with the stage 2, this is where I need everybody to pay attention to. We haven't assigned a DBE, but we're going to try to get that up. We're going to get that as a high percentage. We want to see the construction sequence. We're going to be dealing with the permanent structure. Well, we showed those renderings of the grade separation. We showed the structures where we're elevating it over Forest Hill Junction. These are the things we're going to be doing. We're going to have to do landscaping. We're going to have to do grading work, hauling of all that material where you saw those retaining walls. I need everybody to hear me on this presentation. Get everything that you need to do to get done. In other words, you want to make sure you dotted your I's, you cross your T's. Do everything. Get your certifications, get your insurance, get everything that you need, because here is the time to start doing that. As you see, we're going to do a notice to advertise spring 2022. And then we're going to be doing the permanent construction in summer 2022 and winter 2024. So please, people, get it together, get everything that you need. Next slide, please. So we just went backwards. We're also going to be doing some things here. Oh, there we go. VIDOC improvements. So we're going to be doing some little smaller packages. Sis had mentioned that to you earlier. Here's some of the smaller packages that we're going to have to do. We're going to have to do streets, sidewalks, lighting for the viaducts. We might even do some aesthetics around there. We want to get everyone involved. So it's not just going to be for big items. we're making packages where people can be able to actually participate with these smaller items. Next slide. So, well, we just talked about some of these smaller items, the community mobility improvements. We're going to get those DBE percentages up. Who's going to be the responsible agencies? IDOT and CDOT. These are the times that we're going to be looking at to advertise in 2021, you know, the solicitation of bids in the summer. So be prepared to do things like sidewalks, drainage, paving, lighting, smaller little packages, tree planting, landscaping. We're going to even try to do some improvements within the viaducts where we want to put, you know, make it aesthetically pleasing, where we might do some decorative artwork within those viaducts. So please, again, I'm going to stress this, be prepared. Next slide, please. Now we have another project where we have the Rock Island connector. This is going to be the P2 bridge. This is basically with Metro right now, and we're starting the phase 3 construction. That's going to be coming up very soon. We're doing the design work as we speak, but we might try to push this along because things are moving. We want to get Illinois moving again. We want to see people working. We want to see that going ahead. So we haven't signed a DBE. We haven't did the solicitation of bids, but it's coming. And the construction sales will be coming. It's to be determined. We're going to be getting that out in the street. And I know everybody, we're going through this presentation pretty fast, but we can supply that to you. But I need you to go on the website and check. But we're just giving you a heads up so you can be prepared, because now is the time to be prepared. So when we start to give the green light and go back out to our normal lives and do what we need to do and be able to work out in the field, it's going to be ready so you have time. Next slide, please. So this is just giving you a breakdown of the P2 Rock Island connection. These are some of the things that we're going to be looking at. It's going to be basically a vendor-led project. We're going to go ahead and we're going to need acquire right away. As you can see in some of these areas, this is what we're looking at. The dash areas are showing that that is going to be the areas where we require land acquisition. So people out there who are into land act and they're appraisers and so forth, be prepared. If you're a DBE, be prepared. There's a part for you to be in this whole 75th Street SIP program. Next slide. This is another little example right here of what the Rock Island connection is. As you can see right there, Union Avenue, we're going to be closing off certain areas of the streets. We're going to have to make some development right there. So here's where we see the aesthetics that comes into play. We'll do a cul-de-sac, and we're going to go ahead and have decorative landscaping and so forth. So these are some things that I want you to see. It's going to be an embankment. So everybody has the opportunity, again, to partake in such a project. Next slide. EW2, Sis talked about this earlier. This is part of just the funding for design. So we're looking at going ahead. Most of that design is pretty much out there, but what we're doing is looking at doing the realignment, where she talked about the spaghetti balls and untangling this. So this is where we're going to be doing this, and NS is pretty much the lead, but it's several railroads. Now, I want everybody to listen to this and really stay focused, please. Other upcoming CREATE programs, we have other projects that's coming out. We're already started on that. And as you can see from this list right here, we have projects out in Dalton, Illinois that's getting ready to get started. So you can always think about your mobility of where you might have your office at and so forth. Here it is, we're all over the place. We need you to partake. We got another project, 95th Street and Eggleston. And we've been getting federal funds for these projects. And with our other partners, the railroads, Cook County, CDOT, everybody's invested to give everyone else the opportunity to get out here and be able to work. Next slide. Community benefits. When we do this project, we want everybody to be invested in this. We want everybody to partake into the project. We're showing some of the things that we're doing here, local job trainings. Mentioned earlier about local jobs trainings. We already have that through Dawson Institute. And, you know, we might need to connect with you guys here to try to see what else we can do, because we have to get this younger generation there to be able to work with us. We're going to be promoting the DBE. We're going out to the schools, trying to get these young minds to be able to say, you can do this, explore the engineering and transportation industry. We even have some of the consultants who are on board with us doing internships. So we're really trying to connect and, you know, just try to get back to where we used to be at a long time ago, where everybody's working together, because we still can do this. And we're also giving the environmental benefits. We want fresh air. We don't want any congestion around traffic lanes when you got to go across a railroad. And we want to do some things that enhance the community and make it better with these environmental benefits. So here's the community benefits. And guess what? The people within the community get a say-so in most of this. Next slide. Here's an example of our education commitment. The railroads are putting in on this. Cook County, IDOT, we're investing money, and we're going to continue to do that because these kids are our future, and we got to get them squared away. So we're doing that. Next slide. Local jobs. So we're doing the job training. Hi, Alicia. We can see you out there. I mean, she's a part of that, and you can see some of these things. We are getting those kids right there. And some of them young adults, and my daughter even said, hey, some of them seem like they might be older than you. We're still getting people back to work. That's the good thing. And we're going to get all of those students that you see in that little presentation, in this slide, that one little caption. That's our goal, to get them to work, because they went through the training. And we have to do this. Next slide, please. So, main thing, you heard Sis and I talk, we went through this fast. Please let this stay up for seconds. I want you to stay in touch. If you have any questions, email us. You have anything where you want to sign up for the procurement, what we talked about, do it. Please do it. Because the only way to make this really a successful project is when we all chip in, from consultants to contractors. We have an opportunity to build something really great here within this footprint because we have this federal funding. We do a great job. We can continue to do that and seek those federal funds because we'll meet their benefit cost ratio. We'll meet all of the criteria that they have. So please let this stay for just 3 more minutes. And I want to make sure that everybody gets this. And if you don't, just please reach out to us. You can find us some kind of way where we can connect.
Great. Thank you, Sam. And thank you. Jennifer. Chris, do we have any questions that were posted?
Yes.
All right.
We have a question. You mentioned the DBE recognition being important. Do you also recognize the MBE certification with the City of Chicago or the DBE certification with the City of Chicago?
Sam, did you hear all of that? Jennifer?
Kind of low. Sis, do you have this one? I can answer, you can, but it was kind of low. But if you could repeat it, please.
Okay, sure. I'll repeat it. Is there just a DBE requirement on these projects, or can you accept the M or WBE certification as well?
For these projects, it's going to be the DBE simply because of the source of funding requires DBE. If it is another project associated with the program or component of the program that is 100% locally funded, we have the opportunities to engage M and WBEs on the contract. But with 75th Street SIP, it is going to be all DBE.
Gotcha.
I want to add one more note on that too. And one of the things is what we have to look at is Sis showed earlier on the funding. It's 132 million coming from the feds. So we got to follow all of the federal guidelines. So that's one of the main reasons. If we can get some legislation change or something like that, then maybe, hey, that could work. But we don't want to jeopardize this federal funding. So we have to follow the feds' rules.
Okay. Another question? If you want to click to the Q&A. Or are you telling me to click to the Q&A? All right. Let's see. There's a question here. Are bid for trades you mentioned earlier available to GCs or directly to subs?
I think we may have lost.
Sam, Jennifer?
There we go. Sam, go ahead. Thought we lost you for a minute.
Oh, okay. So for the bids for trades, and I want to make sure I address that question with the right answer. And sis, please jump in too. So when we say the GCs, like we have the prime contractors, correct? And then you have the subs under. Hopefully I'm addressing this right. And if I'm not, sis, jump in and clean it up for me, please. The one thing is that we do have the primes and usually with the railroads, because basically when we go for these projects, even though it's a partnership, the railroads for these projects are picking up the contractors and so forth, but they have to follow all of our procurement. They have to follow our state and federal rules. So the one thing is, it's pretty much for the GCs, but what we're looking at is, we're not going to go ahead and have the same business as usual. We're looking for new people to come in. We're looking for all these things. And we have to analyze that as a state. When the railroads select that contractor, we have to look at that and say, is this person disbarred? What are they doing here? What is your DBE percentage? We look at everything like that in order to select it. Sis, you want to add on, please?
Yeah, so the contracts are actually going to be with the GC, and then the subs will fall in under. There are not individual contracts that are going to be undertaken with each of the participants on the contract. It is with the prime.
All right. All right, let me go to the next question here. Do construction firms need to get trained or certified with safety railroad practices? This questionnaire says that I know that it's been a real roadblock for firms to do work on these types of projects. So is training or certification for rail safety mandatory?
Rail safety is a plus. So they have their classes they have, which we can definitely provide that information. And I want if you can, we want to get those questions so we can still pass it back on and get people connected, but you're going to need rail safety. If you're going to work on a rail project, you're going to have rail safety. Insurance and liability usually comes under the prime, but you still need to try to obtain this insurance. I know it's very costly. This is where we come and talk about the networking with the primes. So there's opportunities to network with the primes and see how you can work that out.
Okay.
Sis, you want to add on?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay.
All right. So there's another question I think that that Jennifer answered here. The question is the procurement of these contract awards, those are all being headed up by the railroads. Is that correct?
It's a combination. So for some of the, the grade separation projects, for some of the community mobility improvements, viaduct projects, those may be coming out from the city or the state, but some of the larger projects that involve the rail corridors, those are being led by the railroads. So you are going to see a mix of agencies who are letting the projects.
Okay. Okay. And now there's a question here. You mentioned that there are no more opportunities for engineering design services, but if there are other opportunities coming up, how will those be promoted and put out for bid?
Okay, I'll take that one. So for the 75th Street Corridor Improvement Project, all of those designers have been selected. But as we think about the program as a whole, all upcoming opportunities are advertised on the website. That's really the importance that Sam was stressing with registering on createprogram.org for the listserv. That's how you will be made aware of those opportunities. We do have 25% of the projects within the program that had yet to be initiated for, preliminary design. There will be opportunities that are coming up. Just at the federal level, we are seeing, some additional focus on grade separations right now. We do have quite a few within the program that are yet to be initiated. So we do anticipate more of those opportunities, coming this way. Additionally, with those that are, rail focused, those are also going to be advertised on the Create Program website as well. So that is the best way for you to stay in touch with us. We are sensitive to timing with the advancement of design opportunities as we start to line up construction dollars, just so that we don't have to go through a major refresh or looking at those impacts, environmental impacts that may be created with a project that was sitting on the shelf for some time as we're trying to move that into active state for construction.
Okay. Okay, now there's a question here. Are you looking for attorneys to assist with right-of-way and utility easements?
You want me to take that one, sis?
Yeah, I can go ahead and take that. They would be part of the independent bid packages. There actually just was one that CSX had put out for right-of-way and utility, but they're going to be tied to the packages. Again, these are all going to be broken down where we try to have, you know, those specific disciplines receive their own package, not necessarily tied up as one big package. We really want to stress that we are trying to create a number of opportunities for firms and contractors across this industry, those for small businesses and firms, those for large businesses and firms as well.
Very good, very good. I think that answers the next question we have here. Are there other opportunities to break up large bid packages into smaller packages for small DBE firms? So anything else you wanted to add to that?
Yes, no, I think we had covered that, but that is something that really is paramount for everyone who is involved here with the railroads, with the state, with the city, with the county. Again, recognizing the opportunity that a project like this has and in the communities that it serves. We want to allow as many people to participate as we can. So we've been very thoughtful. It's a rather time-consuming project to break this up into the smaller pieces, but it's the value and impact of this project that make it worth it. We look forward to having much of your participation on this project.
Okay.
There's one more thing that I would like to add real quick in here too, is one of the things that I hope people did not miss was vendors. So as an organization and a group, if you know of any small business vendors that can supply tools and so forth to the railroads, because they have their own separate contracts within the force account. So one of the things is, if we know vendors out there that can supply a small tools, generators, so forth, let's try to get them connected right now so we can get those Class 1 railroads to basically go to those vendors. So with everybody in this group, this is how we network and do those things. So if we have any vendors, let's try to get them to basically set up with the railroads right now, so when they have to go get certain small supplies and tools, they can go there.
Gotcha. Very good. Any other questions, Chris, here? All right. We have no more questions, Sam, Jennifer. So at this point, I appreciate you spending time with us this morning with your presentation on the CREATE updates. Definitely looking forward to working with you as we move forward and getting these opportunities out to our membership as well. So thanks again. All right. Now for our next presenter, we have CIC. So Chris is, who's on? Jack Crane. Everyone, I want to welcome Jack. Hi, Jack. I want to welcome Jack Crane. He's with CIC, who's going to tell us a little bit more about what CIC does and the opportunities that they have. Now, this is a group that it's called Community Investment Corporation, that's headed up by a great guy named Jack Markowski, who used to be in a previous incarnation our housing commissioner. But this is a group that I believe offers some great opportunities for that part of the membership that does residential multi-unit work. And so here to tell us a little bit more about it is Jack Crane with Community Investment Corporation. So Jack, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Glad to be here. I just basically have three comments about what we do. First of all, CIC, we're a loan fund. We do about $70 million in loans. About half of that, $35 million, is in construction. Our primary business is renovation loans for 6 flats or larger. And our typical construction budget is anywhere from $50,000 to say $500,000. So somewhere between $50,000 and $500,000 is a typical CIC loan. We work primarily, when I say primarily, like 95% with private owner operators who sometimes are their own GC, but are often looking for GCs. And frankly, there's a shortage of GCs in Chicago to do the $50,000 to $500,000 contract. So we do about 100 loans a year, and we would love to find some new GCs who we could refer to clients, prospects who are buying these buildings primarily in Chicago, but we also do a significant amount of business in the collar counties. Most of it's affordable, so we're typically in the low mod neighborhoods, south side, west sides of Chicago, in all of the various suburbs. We have two programs. One is our multifamily, as I described, 6 units or more. In addition, we do acquisition and rehab financing for single family properties. However, that's limited to 9 units at a time. So if somebody wants to do 9 homes or 3 flats or some combination with 9 units or more on the single family side, we do that as well. So as you know, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of single family properties, many of which are distressed. So we offer an opportunity for investors to buy them, rehab them, and hold them. So we provide the acquisition, the rehab, and the perm financing for investors there. One thing we found in the over nearly 40 years of doing this is that our best clients in the long haul have a construction background. So what typically happens is somebody is the GC or maybe a subcontractor on a 6 flat or a 12 flat, let's say in Lawndale or Auburn Gresham or South Shore or Pilsen or Little Village or South Chicago. After they've done a number of projects, they realize, well, why don't I buy this building? Why don't I come up with the funds to buy it? I can renovate it. I can manage the property as well. So we have terrific resources to help first-time investors. We have property management programs where we train well over 1,000 potential landlords, housing providers on an annual basis. We love to find new owners, and I highly recommend you, if you're interested at all in investing in multifamily properties, we're there to serve you. In addition, we have, in the past 5 years, we have set up a fund which has been very successful, getting back to the distressed single-family properties. We have a fund that has helped rehabbers, sometimes called flippers, who are buying distressed properties, renovating them, and selling them to homeowners. We actually go in and buy single-family properties from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and various other institutions. So we warehouse these homes looking for rehabbers, and we probably have a good 12 to 20 rehabbers now who we work with, and we're always looking for new ones. So there may be a 2 flat or a 3 flat or single family property that you may be interested in buying, and we can offer you the opportunity to buy some of our properties. You can also fill out kind of a 1-page introduction to what you're looking for, so that as we're going around in the city, we can alert you that, hey, we're looking at this 2 flat that's distressed. You said you're interested in this property in South Chicago, this neighborhood, so we can be a matchmaker there. We've done, well over 600 homes, primarily homes in the last few years. It's been a great program. We actually will be offering financing for that program in the next few months. So we're very excited about that. So you may be interested in that as well. What I would encourage you to do is to reach out to me via email at cicchicago.com. I'm sure Jorge can send out my contact information. But we're not for profit. We work primarily with, as I said, private owner operators. we work with first-time investors, and we work with larger investors as well on a regular basis. But we really we need new owner operators in the city and in the suburbs. Our entire operation is set up to serve you, to work with you. And again, I think I want to end my brief presentation here with, we truly are looking for good general contractors who are interested in that $50,000 to $500,000 budget. There's a shortage, and I think once you get plugged in with us, you'll find that we're a good shop to work with. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Jack. I really appreciate you giving us that good overview. We do have one question here. So the question is, are there loans available for new construction as well? Not sure if you mentioned it.
I did not mention new construction, and the answer is yes. We don't do new construction very often, but for instance, we have a new application that's going to build a new 12-unit property on the south side. We're very excited about that. So yes, we will do new construction, and the terms for that, typically we will do 80% of cost, or 80% of appraised value, but at 80% of cost including acquisition, construction, soft costs, etc.
Gotcha. Okay, another question here. What are the requirements to obtain these loans?
The primary requirement is good credit, experience. If you've, as I say, we're in the risk business, so we're not afraid to do a first-time investor. If that person has the right plan and a good construction plan, it can show, some business experience so that they can manage, let's say, a 6-flat or 12-flat or whatever they're buying on that first investment. And as I say, we have a property management training program, great program, it's been around for over 20 years, which can help you and assist you in learning that business.
Gotcha. All right. Christina, any more questions? No? Okay. Well, with that, Jack, I want to thank you for coming out and telling us a little bit more about CIC. And so more information, you said cicchicago.org is your website?
.com.
.com, my bad. cicchicago.com. Jack Crane, thank you very much for your time. Definitely look forward to working with you as well.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. All right, and now our final presenter, good folks from Focus Development. We have, is it Mike or David? Who's on? David.
It's David.
Hey, just a brief kind of intro. So Focus Development has done these wonderful buildings just to the west of our offices here on Lake Street. But here is a good example of a developer that's gone from a really, I would say, kind of a baseline status of outreach and good faith efforts to really being more inclusive and really opening up their processes to not only our membership, but to the larger MWB community. So kudos to the folks at Focus. And so at this point, Dave is going to tell us about a project that you've got going on at 808 North Cleveland. So David Hanner, the floor is yours.
Appreciate it, Jorge. Thanks for the opportunity to present and to extend the invitation, our invitation to bid to any interested people within your membership. I'll start my share my screen here. I am here to discuss the 808 Cleveland project. And everybody, I'm assuming we can see the screen here. Here to discuss the 808 Cleveland project. I am the lead estimator for Focus, and I'm the lead estimator for this project. But before we get into the details of the project here, I just maybe wanted to give you a little overview of Focus, let you know who we are. Focus, I guess our tagline here, Focus exists at the intersection of development and construction. What that means in sort of simpler terms is that we are a developer as well as a general contractor. We are Chicago-based. We moved our operations to Chicago in 2017. We were formerly in the northern suburbs. We've been in business since 1993. From 1993 to about 2008, we were primarily just a developer that built our own buildings only. In 2008, 2009, we branched out, expanded our business to third-party general contracting, essentially working for not only ourselves, but also for other developers in the Chicagoland area. As a general contractor, we've put in place about $650 million worth of work. And our product types include ground up construction, value add, which would be sort of interior build outs and or interior renovations, and then interior construction such as office build outs. As a general contractor, we've delivered about 4,000 multifamily units to the Chicagoland area. Multifamily ground up construction is really our bread and butter. We've also done office spaces and retail spaces as well. Our projects range from smaller multifamily communities to high density mixed use developments in Chicago. I'm listing here some of the communities that we've worked in. So we do work in Chicago and the surrounding counties. Naperville is not on here. We've done work in Naperville. We've done work in Vernon Hills, also not listed here. But we are definitely in Chicagoland and in the collar counties as well. Jumping into the 808 Cleveland project, this is an active bid opportunity right now. We do have documents available to bid, and I just want to run through the project here and let you know how to get in touch with us in order to bid, but we'll give you some of the details here. This is a third-party general contracting opportunity for Focus. We are the general contractor. The owner for this project is DAC Developments. The architect for the project is Papa George Hames Partners. 808 Cleveland is a mixed use building. It's has multifamily apartments. It has office space and it has first floor retail area. It is 23 stories tall, roughly 284,000 gross square feet. 163,000 of that is multifamily. About 20,000 is office, and about 7,500 square feet is the retail area. There are 200 residential units going into the building. There is a garage area that houses about 99 parking spaces. And there is an amenity floor, which includes a swimming pool, fitness center, game rooms, co-working spaces, pet exercise area. Construction for this project is right around the corner, February, anticipating to begin February of 2021. And we anticipate that it will be complete by August of 2022. The site location, the address is a little deceiving. It's 808 Cleveland, which is this little small street here, but really it's right along Chicago Avenue, main thoroughfare in Chicago, just east of the north branch of the Chicago River, I believe there. So so it's right downtown in sort of the river north area, approaching River West, I guess. Just an idea of what sort of the building looks like here. I'll run through a couple of floor plans. This is the first floor plan. In the back, on the north side of the building, on the first floor, you got sort of your back of house areas, mechanical and electrical rooms. On the east side, you have the main entrance off of Cleveland. And on the ground floor here is that the retail area that I spoke about. Here's just a representative image or floor plan of the garage. There are about 2.5 floors of garage. This is there's nothing exciting here, but certainly part of the project. Here's a representative image of one of the office floors. This is the 5th floor plan. The office area is here primarily on the east side of the building. There is a little bit of residential amenity on the 5th floor as well. The 6th floor here, this is the amenity space for the building. The outdoor amenities include the dog run on the north side here. On the south side, the outdoor amenities include a spa, the pool, and like a garden area. And then the interior spaces for amenities are game room, co-working, business center, fitness area, party room for group gatherings. Here's a typical residential floor. So these are typical for floors 7 through 21. Each level here has 13 residential units. The corner units are 4-bedroom units. In between those units are primarily studio and 1-bedroom apartments. And here's some images of the exterior of the building. The facade of the building is window wall for the apartment tower. At the base of the building, you got precast architectural panels, sort of infilled with curtain wall in some cases, or in other cases, metal screen wall, or louvers, or CMU. Bidding information. If you're interested in bidding the project, you should contact us at 808cleveland@workwithfocus.com. In the week from there, we can issue you a formal bid invitation. I monitor that inbox, and so I will get you onto our bidders list once you send an email to us. Our bids, like I said, we are actively bidding this project now, and we are looking for bids October 23rd by 5 p.m. That's not this Friday, but the following Friday. The project is utilizing union workforce, successful bidders. So anyone that actually ends up doing a portion of the work with Focus, they must submit a pre-qualification form, a letter of good standing from their labor union, and a letter of good standing from their financial institution. This is not required to be submitted with your bid. We do encourage it that you submit it with your bid. And it certainly helps sort of facilitate the process of getting pre-qualified. And I would also say, you know, if you give us a pre-qual, we'll include you on our bidders list for future bid projects. If you are seeking out or want to get your hands on our pre-qualification, go to our website, www.workwithfocus.com, and there'll be a link to the pre-qualification form there. After our presentation here, if you have any questions, feel free to reach us at the email address I mentioned, 808cleveland@workwithfocus.com.
All right.
Here's a list of trades that we are currently bidding. And I'm not going to run through all of these. I'll just give a general overview here. But Division 1, scaffolds, office trailers, labor services, final cleaning. Division 3, all your concrete trades. Division 4, masonry. Division 5, structural steel and miscellaneous metals. Division 6, all your carpentry and woodwork trades. Division 7, your thermal and moisture protection trades, whether that's waterproofing, traffic topping, or roofing. Division 8, so your doors, frames, and hardware, and any glazing. Division 9, your finished trades, so that's your drywall, tiling, flooring, painting. Division 10, furnishing of any accessories, tub and shower doors, signage. Division 11, sort of special systems, parking control equipment, appliances, safety tiebacks. Division 12, your furnishings, window treatments, and countertops. Division 14, elevators. Division 31, concrete caissons and earthwork. Any site improvements such as asphalt paving, site concrete, and landscaping. And then we're also looking for bids for site utilities, tower cranes, and hoists. What you don't see here is fire protection. You don't see plumbing, electrical, or HVAC. Those trades have actually been awarded, bid and awarded already. So we're not seeking bids for those at this time. That really wraps up my presentation here. If you have any questions, hang on, I'm trying to advance my slide. Here we go. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take those now. Certainly.
Yeah, I think we do, David.
Okay, great.
So we have 3 questions, but let me ask this. This project does not have any TIF dollars, so there's no required mandatory MWBE requirement, but it did have a plan commission approval, which also encourages this usage.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
So we are operating essentially under a PD. The project is under a PD, and so we are pursuing 26, 6, and 50. Our best efforts to get there, certainly.
Gotcha. Okay. So we have a question here about project schedule. What's the project schedule?
We intend to break ground on this project February of 2021, and we anticipate that we'll be done by August of 2022.
Gotcha. Okay. Are there any bonding requirements for trade work?
Yes, there is. Essentially, it is required for any trade over $500,000. If anybody has a question about if they think their trade might, if it falls above that threshold or below that threshold, I could probably tell you just based upon the budgets that we've done on the project previously. So certainly contact me at 808 Cleveland at workwithfocus.com, and I can give you some additional direction there if you have any questions about where you might land there.
Gotcha. Christina, any other questions we have? We have one more that's coming.
What are the MWBE goals?
Ah, yes. I think I may have mentioned, but what are the MWBE goals on the project?
26% MBE, 6% WB, and 50% local workforce.
Local residents, okay. But definitely from the local resident standpoint, if there's any questions, we have our 59 individuals in our pre-apprenticeship program now. I believe 85% of those individuals are Chicago residents, and then we have the other 20 folks that are in our laborers pre-apprenticeship program or will be in our pre-apprenticeship program. Those definitely are all in the city as well. So just something to keep in mind, David, and I think we can send you some more info on that as well.
Would appreciate it.
So if there's no other questions, I want to thank David Harner with Focus Development. Again, if you have any questions, 808 Cleveland at workwithfocus.com. I appreciate you taking the time to join us today, David. Definitely look forward to working with Focus as well in the future. So appreciate it.
Thanks, Jorge.
You got it. All right. So that brings us to the end of our October membership webinar. I want to thank all of our sponsors who helped underwrite this program for today. We greatly appreciate your support. And again, we want to thank all of you who are HACIA members who joined us. If you're not a member and if you'd like to join, please make sure to reach out to us. You can find us at haciaworks.org, or you can call us at our office. Make sure that you spread the word. Construction and design is alive and well in Chicago and state of Illinois. We want to make sure that we help all parties and all stakeholders get involved, and more importantly, get our members equitably involved as well. So with that, on behalf of our board of directors, I want to thank you all for joining us. I'm Jorge Perez. Thank you, and talk to you soon.